Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, thank you for taking your time to be here today. We are the Swamphead roofing team from the University of Florida, and today we will be presenting our roofing proposal for the Las Vegas Raiders headquarters and Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center. Now, before we dive into our proposal today, we would like to start the way we start each and every day, and that is with a safety moment. So now I'm going to turn it over to our safety manager, Kyle Muller, to present our safety moment.
Today's safety moment is about staying hydrated. Staying hydrated on a job site and in general minimizes fatigue, drowsiness, and increases energy and awareness. To stay hydrated, just make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day and never allow yourself to get thirsty, because the second you're thirsty, you are dehydrated.
Thank you, Kyle. So before we get started today, I wanted to run through a quick agenda of what we will be talking about today in our proposal. So first, we're going to talk about who Swamphead Roofing is, and we'll give you a company breakdown of our hierarchy. Then we'll move into Swamphead Roofing culture and values, and then we'll get into the meat of things with our roofing scope and execution plan, our project bid and project breakdown, and then we'll get into safety on the job. So let's go ahead and meet the rest of our starting lineup. So from left to right, we have our Senior Project Manager, Garrett Spicola. Next, we have Ansley Spofford, our Project Manager. Myself, President of Operations. Our Safety Manager, who you have already met, Kyle Muller. And lastly, our Chief Superintendent, Bobby Swinkowski. So here we have broken down our company hierarchy. This job will be a high-profile job for the Swamphead roofing team if awarded to us. So we wanted you to see that it is not only the 5 of us working on the job, but you'll receive the full Swamphead team to support you from pre-installation to substantial completion. So a little bit about Swamphead. Swamphead Roofing Contractors was founded 25 years ago by our team in the western region of the United States. We started as a local roofing contractor in the Las Vegas area, and we have grown to 3 offices throughout the state of Nevada. We specialize in commercial roofing and re-roofing, and have completed roofs such as the T-Mobile Arena and the Thomas and Mack Center, where the University of Nevada, Las Vegas plays their basketball games. With projects like those, we believe we have the capacity to complete the project to the standards of the owner. When founded, we founded Swamphead on 3 basic but very important principles: quality, integrity, and accountability. Our work is backed by our Swamphead quality guarantee. We believe we should be honest with our clients and with our fellow employees at Swamphead, and we want to be accountable to our clients during the project and throughout the life cycle of the building that we installed our product on. So now I'm going to turn it over to Bobby Swinkowski to cover our roofing scope and our execution plan.
Hey everyone, as said earlier, my name is Bobby Swinkowski. I'm the Chief Superintendent. So our scope will consist of 4 roofs of varying heights. These are the office building, porte-cochere, the performance center, and the maintenance building. It's important to note that before each phase, we'll be talking with our safety manager, Kyle Mueller, for phase-specific safety plans and hazards. For the duration of the project, we will also have a 75-ton truck crane that we've selected and a 12K telescoping forklift, which will be brought in during mobilization to use for the duration of the project for hoisting materials. Now, specifically about the phasing. First, we've decided to do in phase 1 the office building and the porte-cochere. Specifically, we want to start with the office building first because it's the most technical aspect of the job. For scheduling reasons, we wanted to start here first because it had easiest access and it's the most difficult roof to construct. So we wanted to make sure we finish it on time before we got and get our crews familiar with the whole process before we moved on to the other parts. Beginning at the roof drains and drain sumps of the office building, our crew will lay the base layer of poly insulation, mechanically fasten it. We will be starting at the roof drains and drain sumps to ensure quality water tightness. After the second layer of insulation is installed, a quality control check will be performed by our team. Once the insulation is deemed sufficient and the PVC membrane will be installed, followed by crickets flashing and walk pads. Final inspection will then be performed by a third party. After the team has passed the building inspection, they will move to the porte-cochere, that's phase 1B there, and begin coverboard installation. Then they'll fasten the PVC sheathing of the roof deck and install flashing walk pads. Final inspection will then be performed by a third party once again. And then we'll move on to phase 2 and 3, which just kind of mirror phase 1. It's pretty much the same roofing system. And again, between each phase, we will go ahead and make sure we pass all inspections before we move from one phase to the next. And with that being said, I'll hand it over to Garrett, who will talk about the schedule.
Hello, everybody. My name is Garrett Spicola. I am the Senior Project Manager here at Swamphead Roofing, and I'm just going to briefly run over the schedule, the labor loading, and the project estimate and cost. So with the anticipated start date on February 5th, we will begin mobilization immediately as soon as we get that notice to proceed. This will take us about 3 days. Once we've mobilized and gotten all of our crews and equipment on site, we can move on to phase 1A of the office building, which is the porte-cochere. This will take us 14 days or approximately 2 weeks worth of work to complete. Once phase 1A is complete, we can move to the porte-cochere. Sorry, I mentioned that earlier, which will take us about 5 days. This will be included with the office construction, but as Bobby mentioned earlier, they will be done in separate portions to ensure that we get each job done properly. Once that is done, we can move to the performance center. This is the largest and most strenuous job, though it's not the most technical. It's going to take the longest amount of time because of its mere size. It's an 18-day project beginning on March 9th and hoping to complete by the beginning of April. Once that's complete, we can move on to the maintenance building, which will take us about 8 days, April 2nd to April 13th, and then finally substantial completion on the 14th. Now the labor loading for the project. We've broken it down into each phase of the building to give you a better understanding of what's going on site. Mobilization, like I said, will take about 3 days, and these are the crews laid out underneath the quantity section. Total cost will be just under $9,000. Phase 1 of the office building will consist of about 7 different crews, operating all at the same time, will cost about $72,500. Porte-cochere, a smaller job, will take about $21,000. Moving on to phase 2. As I mentioned, this is the largest project and will be the most intensive. So this will cost us about $93,500. The maintenance building will taper down to $41,500, and demobilization will again be just under $9,000. Moving on to the estimate. The project in its entirety will cost $1,260,471. This can be broken down by direct and indirect costs. Direct costs are the cost of construction. Each building has its costs laid down for you on the left side. The office building will take $226,000 to complete. The porte-cochere, $16,500. The performance center, $281,000. The maintenance building, about $115,000, for a total of $640,000. The indirect costs will consist of profit and general conditions, which include our overhead and labor. This will run about $210,000 for profit, $410,000 for overhead and general conditions, and a combined $620,000 for indirect. Combined, again, this will be the $1,260,000 that we can complete your roof for. And now I'll pass it off to Kyle for the safety plan.
Morning, everyone. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm Kyle Muller, the on-site safety manager for Swamphead Roofing. In our bid package, we included the full site-specific safety plan, but for now, I'll just be highlighting some of the most significant on-site dangers and our prevention methods for said dangers. Next slide, please. So we believe the most significant dangers that our workers are going to be facing while on the job site are going to be fall hazards and COVID-19 exposure. But in general, to help mitigate dangers, all Swamphead employees are required to take our in-house safety orientation, which includes a site-specific debriefing and a company-provided OSHA 10 training course. We believe that educating our employees about the potential dangers on site and rewarding excellent behavior is paramount to a safe and efficient job site. Next slide. Having previously worked on multiple projects of a similar scale, we've developed a system that has effectively minimized nearly all of the fall-related work injuries. So to begin, we establish, when within 6 feet of a working or live edge, all workers are required to wear an OSHA-certified 3-point harness, which is correctly connected to one of the mobile anchor points that we use throughout the job site. We're currently using an anchor point called the Blue Water Mobile Anchor Point, and it is an ANSI and OSHA certified mobile anchor, which is capable of carrying a 310-pound worker with equipment, and it is capable of withstanding 4,000 pounds of vertical force. These anchors require no tools to be assembled and can be broken down for ease of movement throughout the job site. A competent person is required to check the integrity of the anchors before they're used by any people. In addition to this requirement, we establish a perimeter with temporary cones and flagging located 10 feet inside of the outer perimeter of the working area. This will be a restricted access area. The cones will be spaced approximately 10 feet apart with flagging every 2 feet, high visibility rope in between each cone. No one without a harness will be permitted to cross this boundary at any time unless wearing a harness. Any person within this restricted area must be supervised by a competent person, and no competent person will be allowed to monitor more than 3 workers at any given time. In doing this, we're ensuring that workers who are exposed to any sort of fall risk are monitored closely in the event of an accident. In addressing COVID-19 concerns, every day employees will be required to check in with a Swamphead provided healthcare worker who will screen the employees for the most current list of COVID-19 symptoms and take their temperature. Any employee who runs a fever or has experienced one or more of the symptoms will not be permitted to enter the job site and will be required to schedule an appointment to have a COVID-19 test done. Any employees sent home due to a failed screening may not return to work until they receive either a negative test or until 10 days have elapsed from the time of receiving a positive test result. Any employees directly in contact with said employee must also follow the same protocol to avoid spreading the virus anywhere else. And lastly, to prevent the spread of COVID-19, all employees will be required to wear face coverings. Appropriate face coverings include N95 respirators, neck gaiters, medical grade masks, cloth, fabric masks, and any face covering provided by Swamphead. Face covering must completely cover the nose and mouth at all times, and we will also be enforcing social distancing when possible. Working in close quarters is often unavoidable, but we do ask our employees to try to remain at least 6 feet apart when possible. We believe that in establishing an in-depth plan for mitigation and prevention of these risks, we are better protecting our employees and creating a more efficient and effective job site.
Thank you, Kyle. So judges and everybody else joining us today, we want to say thank you for being here today. Our team has planned extensively, budgeted carefully, and put all of our resources into making sure this job can be a success. For these reasons, we truly believe Swamphead is the most qualified team for this job. I've attached our team's contact information if you were to need any further information. Thank you for your consideration, and now we will open it up to any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Swamphead Roofing. Very good presentation. And so let me go into introducing the judges that'll be you'll be seeing. First of all, I'll introduce Mr. John Gary, who's the Chief Marketing Officer for Nations Roof. John has a wide range of experience, having worked for roofing contractors, distributors, and manufacturers during his roofing career. He's been active in multiple roofing organizations to include NRCA and the Roofing Alliance. John is an enthusiastic advocate for continuous improvement in the roofing industry and shows this by his participation as a speaker and contributor to many roofing industry events and publications. So thank you, John, for being a part of this panel of judges. Our next judge is Ms. Helene Hardy-Pierce, who's Vice President of Technical Services, Codes, and Industry Relations for GAF. Helene is the recipient of 2 of the roofing industry's most prestigious awards, the NRCA J.A. Piper Award and ASTM's William C. Cullen Award. This comes from her long-term commitment and dedication to the roofing industry over her entire career. Helene continues to be active in roofing organizations, working on committees, speaking at events, publishing information, all of which provide knowledgeable insight into the technical aspects of roofing. Thank you, Helene, for being a part of this panel of judges. Our next judge is Mr. Scott Kowalik. He's Vice President of B&M Roofing, located in Frederick, Colorado. Scott is a 3rd-generation roofing contractor who grew up in and around the roofing business. His father and grandfather were both active in the industry as business owners and as leaders. Simply put, Scott knows and understands all aspects of the roofing industry. He served on the Roofing Alliance Board of Trustees, the NRCA Executive Committee, and served as president of the National Roofing Legal Resource Center. Scott continues to be involved in state, regional, and national roofing organizations, putting forth his vast knowledge of roofing. Thank you, Scott, for being a part of this panel of judges. Our next judge is Mr. John McGarry. It's a little different, it's not John Gary, it's John McGarry. He's the Chief Operating Officer of the Commercial Roofers, Inc., located in Las Vegas, Nevada. John holds an MBA and a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering with a minor in mathematics. John also is very much involved in many industry organizations, too many to mention. The other interesting thing about John and his company, Commercial Roofers, is they are the roofing company that actually installed the PVC single-ply roofing system on the Raiders practice facility, and was the company that got us permission to use the project for our competition. So thank you, John, for providing the project for our students' competition here, and also for being a part of the panel of judges. Our next judge is Mr. Dudley Miles. He currently serves as chairman of the board of J.D. Miles and Sons, and also Miles Roofing. Dudley grew up in the roofing business, but followed in his first passion, which was teaching and coaching, before coming into the roofing industry full-time. Dudley is a past president of the National Roofing Contractors Association, and also is a recipient of the roofing industry prestigious J.A. Piper Award. The list of accomplishments and achievements that have been bestowed on Dudley are more in number than we have the time to list. Needless to say, Dudley is and has been a dedicated servant to the roofing industry. So thank you, Dudley, for also being a part of this panel of judges. Our next judge is Mr. Chris Ogg, who is West North Regional Sales Manager for Sika Sarnafil Roofing. Chris has been employed by Sika for the last 25 years, where he has been involved in the technical aspects of their roofing systems to be district and now regional manager. Chris's territory includes Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and Alaska, all these places that I want to go visit. As you may have figured by now, Chris is familiar with the Raiders practice facility by his involved with the roofing system that was installed. So thank you, Chris, also for being a part of our panel of judges. Our next judge is Mr. Bob Pringle, who's Vice President of Evans Roofing Company out of Elmira, New York. Bob is an industrial engineer graduate, working in the roofing industry to bring quality and safety to his company and our industry. Bob has proudly served on many roofing industry boards that include the National Roofing Contractors Association. Bob's daily responsibility at his home office includes oversight of sales and marketing, along with the oversight of environmental, health, and safety issues that protect our roofing workers, our clients, and our environment. So thank you, Bob, also for being a part of our judges. And our final, not last, but our final judge to be brought up is Mr. John Yoko, who's Senior Vice President of Operations of GSM Roofing. John also has the unique advantage of working in the manufacturing industry at the beginning of his career. John has a BS in mechanical engineering and also holds a master's degree in organizational management. When John started his career at GSM, he put forward the goal to continue their tradition of quality, safety, and service, and has succeeded in that goal. John also is involved in many roofing industry organizations, giving of his time and to help our industry as a whole. So also, John, thank you for being a part of our panel of judges. So we have 8 judges that are here. We're going to have 6 that will be asking questions. And so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. John Gary, who will start the questioning, and I'm going to mute out and come back at the end. Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Well, first, congratulations, Swamphead Roofing. You did a great job. You demonstrated to us that you understand not just the product and the project, but the roofing nomenclature and what is involved with this. And you should feel really good about it. I hope you had some fun during this, during the whole process, and are enjoying this right now and can take a good job so far. My question is a really basic one. How are you going to get on the roof?
Kyle, or I guess I'll take over that. So in our material takeoff, we put in for, so basically we're going to have scaffold access on each side. So we will do scaffold. We'll put scaffold up and take it down for each phase. So for the first phase, we will have access on the south end of the office building. And then we will be taking that down once phase 1A and B are completed. And then we will do the same thing for each of the other phases. So for the performance and maintenance buildings as well.
Using the same scaffold.
So you've included scaffolding in your bid, and will you allow other trades to use your scaffold?
Yes, sir. We have included the scaffolding as part of our project estimate, and that will be readily accessible for whoever needs it. Granted, we give them clearance.
Okay, good. The scope of the work mentions that it's a ladder-free zone, and you picked that up, and you have a great solution for that. So thank you for answering that question. Helene.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. So Swamphead Roofing, well done, just well done. And so my question has to do with, does Swamphead Roofing Company usually follow up with their building owners after completing a new roof to help them plan for routine inspections and maintenance? And if so, what services do you offer to that building, to the building owner?
So I'll go ahead, or Bobby, do you want to?
I was going to say, we usually guarantee 10 years performance, and we actually have sort of a part of our insurance isn't the right word, but a part of our services is if there's any leaks or problems with the roof that is due to our negligence or whatever, we will come back and we have our own crews prepared to come and fix anything.
Okay.
We also keep a very close eye on the product warranty. Like Bobby mentioned, if it's not due to our negligence or issues with installation, we will follow that up with the manufacturer of the product. But if it is due to our own error, then yes, we will warrant that within the 10 years that we guarantee.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you all very much. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Scott.
Thanks, Helene. I had a question just about the roof system in general. Could you guys help us understand this roof that's been specified? Maybe some pros and some cons to the roof system. How is it different from other membrane roofs like TPO or EPDM? You know, we relied on a design team to come up with this. And so just since Swamphead is a professional contractor, could you guys care to comment on, you know, some good things we've bought here or we're going to install, and maybe some things that we should look out for as our roof system ages?
Yes, I can go ahead and cover that. So the roof specified is a PVC roof. And so it has a reputation of being durable, and it's highly resistant to chemical damage, which you may see if you look, for example, at the Superdome in New Orleans. I mean, they have a little bit different climate there, but that was subject to a lot of wear and tear. So we see PVC as a highly resistant roofing material, and its reflective properties and Huh. Give me 1 second to regroup.
It's good for these bigger projects because its durability compared to other roofing systems.
And while Colin looks up the exact documentation for that, I can tell you that it is a relatively cheaper and easier to install material without compromising its strength or durability, as you mentioned. So one reason that this was chosen is because it's relatively thin compared to other materials, and it's easy to install. This can be done quickly and efficiently, which will save both time and money. And because of its durability, it'll hold up to withstand the sun, the UV, the temperatures, and like you mentioned, the chemical.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, guys. Chris, did you have a question that you wanted? Or sorry, John. John, are you ready for your question?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't think we can hear you. Maybe it's just me.
John, did you unmute?
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
First of all, good morning, and nice job, very nice job. One of the things we're noted for in Las Vegas certainly is our sun. Another aspect of the weather here is wind. And every day you can't work due to high winds needs to be made up in the schedule. Schedule drives billings, billings drives collections. So how do you adjust for non-productive wind days and still be able to meet the project's completion schedule?
I can talk about that. So we didn't give you a super specific breakdown of our schedule just because of time constraints, but we actually have figured that it's not going to be a perfect system and it's not going to flow perfectly evenly, and worked into each of our days is a little bit of time. So let's say we do miss a day or two, that's okay because we have that accounted for. And while we have it broken down into day by day, there is a little bit of leeway in there. So, I mean, unless there's 2 months worth of heavy wind, I think we'll be all right and we'll be able to mitigate it.
If wind does become an issue, we can go to the general contractor, or we will go to the owner, and we can request some form of change order if that does become an issue. But like Garrett said, there is some time built into the schedule to allow for the climate.
Sir, you're still muted.
With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Chris Ogg.
Good morning, team. I think you guys did a fantastic job on your presentation. You should be very proud of yourselves. The item I'm going to refer to is more due to quality control. So one of the most important parts of a roofing project, especially specific to this, is the success of the roof installation itself and the quality of the seams and the welding of the induction welding plates. So my question to you is, what steps were taken to ensure that all the welding equipment is working properly and calibrated, and the testing of the seams and the adhesion to the rhino-bond plates?
So kind of what I said in my part with the phasing, we did have inspections before, like after the insulation was put in, then actually when the membrane's put over. So if there are any problems with any of the equipment or anything we have, or the installation itself, we would catch it at that point. And if it was found that, you know, there was some kind of hand tool or welder that was malfunctioning, that would allow us to catch it early instead of, you know, going through and completing the whole project just to realize, you know, there's faulty equipment.
Yeah, and to build on top of that, we will have third-party inspections to check all of, you know, final checks on our roof and to look at each layer, but we will also be doing equipment checks twice a day, AM and PM, starting in the morning and the afternoon, to ensure that they are calibrated And then we will be looking at temperatures and bonds as well and checking those.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks. Proceed for response, Bob.
Yeah, you were
Thank-
breaking up a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Again, excellent answer. I'll pass this on to Bob Pringle next. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Congratulations, everybody. Be proud of your presentation. And I want to thank you all for being here today and getting to the final round. So congratulations again. I was looking at your documentation. This is a safety question, by the way, folks. I notice you have a very impressive experience modification rating based on your history, the safety of your program and your company. I think we all believe that it takes a lot from all your employees to achieve that impressive experience modification rating. So with this said, we also believe that top management must lead by example. Talk to us about how top management leads by example with safety, that they promote each and every day that safety is first and foremost and never compromised in behalf of profitability.
I can touch on that briefly. So every morning, I think we had outlined it in our site-specific safety plan that we would be meeting as a team, either at the company vehicles to initially test for COVID, make sure everybody was cleared for the day. But that would also be an opportunity to instill in all the workers, maybe like we had done at the beginning of this presentation, a safety message or a safety moment. And by instilling a safety moment at the beginning of every day and making sure that our employees are aware that we're monitoring their safety, I feel like that kind of will instill in them that safety is one of our top priorities. I think that also allowing them to take the OSHA 10 and providing OSHA 10 as a certification and awarding good behavior where it's seen is something that will kind of trickle down towards the other employees if they aren't practicing safety practices quite as well. So hopefully positive reinforcement of good safety behaviors is something that will positively impact the company as a whole, and everybody else will be able to act in the same manner.
Just one more thing to piggyback on that. Our team requires our management to basically per month, they have to go out and look at issues and then find those issues, put them into the system, and within 2 weeks they have to resolve them. And so we promote, safety is everybody's concern. So it's hard, it is a little bit harder for people in the office to promote that essentially, but we are finding ways to have our management be involved and not only leave it to, say, our field guys and safety managers to promote safety.
Do you require your top management personnel to acquire the same training that your field people have to acquire?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks so much for your answers, team. Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew, you got something to say?
I was just showing the OSHA card.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, hats off, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys from Swamphead Roofing. Great presentation, as everyone has said. So we've now come to the end. You can take a deep breath and relax now. And I wish you luck on the final judging and all. And thank you once again. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
Well done.